All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, RayronVR. All right, hopefully everyone had a good week. All right. So we've got a lot of things to kind of go over, kind of talk about, but with that, let's go ahead and welcome our Icy family here. We've got Railfan K, you've got the Icy Cookie, and welcome everyone that's going to be lurking. Welcome those who are going to be watching this on the replay. A lot of things have kind of happened, and so first you may notice that you know, brand new day, brand new time slot. So for the lack of a better phrase, IRL is changing a bit. I will be, if you guys haven't seen all the announcements that I've been posting, we are actually going to be leaving Texas in October, which is what's prompted the new time slot, the new day of the week. So we're moving to this time slot from 7 to 9-ish on every Tuesday. So I know it's going to take some time for the adjustments to get used to this new schedule, and this will probably go on till the end of July. And so yeah, we got another move coming up. A Deep Run RR Mike, welcome. How are you? Good, sir. Welcome. So yes, brand new time slot to accommodate prepping for another move. So we've been here in San Antonio for about 4.5 years, and you know, thanks to my job, I do have to move again. And this point, we are going to be moving to Shreveport, Louisiana, which is basically the top left-hand corner of Louisiana State, and we'll be about 2, maybe 3 hours away from Dallas. So I'm actually kind of excited for that. We'll be able to see a lot more potential content creators. We've got more train shows up near Dallas that we can actually get to that we couldn't get to from San Antonio, and a lot of good train stores up there. And then Shreveport, Louisiana is basically the home of the Sioux Line Railroad, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, a lot of cool things coming up. I'm really excited for it. So in order to prep for the move, we had to move the time slot of the podcast from Wednesday to Tuesday. So again, appreciate you guys bearing with us as we try a new time slot, and we'll take it all the way to July. So the last podcast live stream will be the last week of July. It'll probably be the last week that I go visit Samara. So yeah, the countdown has officially begun. Definitely gonna miss all my friends in San Antonio and the big three clubs that are out here from San Antonio Mountain Railroad Association, the Texas Transportation Museum, and Elmendorf with the San Antonio Heritage Railway Museum as well. So yeah, definitely gonna miss San Antonio, but yeah, the time has officially come. And you know, the good thing about the channel and everything is that we can always meet here on the channel. So yeah, I'll definitely miss you too, Real Fan. Definitely was a fun time creating content. And yeah, yep. So drop the news. Yep, officially moving. And so yeah, we won't be far. That's the thing about this, is that we'll be moving. It's literally like 9-10 hours in that direction. So we'll probably make some visits to San Antonio, but yeah, officially on our way. So a lot of things are also going to be coming up too. With that being said, I'm not sure what the podcast is going to look like going forward when it comes to the layout. More than likely, I think what's going to end up happening is the circular design may have to get sacrificed to a point-to-point. I'm not sure yet, because obviously we don't know what the living situation is going to be when we go to Louisiana. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, Shreveport, Louisiana. Yes. Yep. So, home of the Sioux Line Railroad, which is basically a fantasy railroad. I am excited to go see and hopefully be a part of, because their layout is up and coming. And yeah, so we'll talk about more about the Sioux Line Railroad, freelance railroad, here in a bit. And so as you guys kind of noticed today, I'm just gonna go quickly to the cameras. So we've got a lot to talk about, and so I decided to do a running start. Basically, a running start means that we have the train already on our way. Yeah. So yeah, today is just again the big boy with the Eastern tour. My feed has blown up with everything Big Boy 4014 on the Eastern Coast. It's officially on railways that it's never been on before. And so, yeah, very exciting time. We'll talk about that consist, and decided to go ahead and do the Big Boy with the Bilbo turbine as well. Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about the Sioux Line Fantasy or freelance railroad here for sure. So yeah, we'll just leave it on this screen for a little bit. So yeah, I'm not sure what the living circumstances is going to be. It's probably going to be smaller for my foot space, and so what's probably going to end up happening is probably going to be a point-to-point. I probably imagine we'll see if we can get lucky and get this circle layout again, but if not, I'm already looking and designing into a point-to-point if need be. I'm looking into the Motorman DCC controller, so that way we can have it go back and forth on the point-to-point. Again, not necessarily ideal for me because I love my circle layout, but again, we have to accommodate to what's out there. So you'll still get the content, we'll still do the news and everything. It's just I think the nature of the layout could change, but we'll see. Again, I can't promise anything until we get settled down and the podcast back up and going in December. So with that, the last week of July will be the last podcast here from Texas, and then we'll go on a hiatus to pack it all up, and then we'll probably try to get back up in December for the winter celebration, along with our winter train, with our IC awards for the end of the year, and close up 2026. So definitely excited to see what the other half of the year is going to bring for us, for you guys. definitely excited with that. So that's the big news right now. That's why we're on a new time, new schedule, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes, and yeah, we'll move on from there. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the news because we've got a lot to talk about. All right, so with that, let me get everything set up here. Okay, so we're going to start off with the latest news on Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern. So let's go to the news. So with that, the Surface Transportation Board has accepted the second application of the NSUP merger, but they still want information review before they can begin. So with that, the Surface Transportation Board today accepted the revised Union Pacific Norfolk Southern merger application. The board also declined to establish a review schedule for the merger and required UP and NS to provide additional information about the host of issues by July 27th. So again, this is the first big merger of its type. So again, they're going to be cautious. They're going to make sure they comb this application with a fine-tooth comb. And so again, there's still more detail that has to be submitted, but they have accepted it with the caveat that, again, there's just a plethora of details that they need to get from both companies, and again, we'll see where this goes. There's plenty of opinions on it shouldn't be happening, it should happen, and so we kind of talked about this to death. Really nothing new when it comes to this. We knew that they were going to accept it with the caveats that they still want to make sure that all the details are there before they make the final say if they should merge or not. So more to be continued with this saga. All right, so with that, there's going to be a lot of big boy pictures. So again, this is it. This is the big boy getting ready to depart Nebraska. Obviously, it's in Ohio now. So again, we didn't stream last week just because taking care of things outside of the podcast. And so this news is going to be a little bit dated, but we're going to try to go through it as we can. Okay, so we got to the GVT Railway came out with their America 250 paint scheme for the former BC Rail M630. So again, pretty interesting design. We got the painted Liberty Bell. We got the GV there, 1776. So again, not bad paint scheme. It feels a little bit basic, but to be honest, it's cool that they're still seeing paint schemes in dedication to 1776 UP. But yes, definitely better than good old Union Pacific. So pretty cool to see that there. We're going to be a couple more pictures when it comes to the office car special when it comes to BNSF. We will also talk about CSX. CSX just recently announced their two 1776 units, which will complete all of the class 1s. Yeah, very cool paint scheme. Reminds you of BC Rail. Yeah, I think that's what they were going with for that particular design. So definitely pretty cool. A lot of photos. Michelle Kempema, the director of the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, was also able to give us some video on this particular OCS when it went to Denver. But yeah, this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous train. I still think out of all the Class 1 1776 paint schemes, I think BNSF is the best. It's the best that celebrates 1776 and kind of a salute to the paint schemes back of Santa Fe days. So I really, really love their paint schemes. This beautiful design. Okay, 1 second. Give me one here. We'll take a quick break in the news. Let me do, hang on. We'll go ahead and then take a quick break here. You good? Hey, Randall, how are you, good sir? Just listening in the background for now. Have a good stream. Will do. Will do. Yep. All right. Let's go back to the news. Okay. So yeah, again, BNSF, I think by far has the best paint scheme out of all of the 1776 units. Definitely one that I want to eventually get in HO scale. And their office car special is just, it's really nice. Just brilliant overall. So again, these photos come from, looks like Steel Wheels Photography from Kevin Bookholder, looks like. So feel free to follow that Facebook account. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's continue on here. Okay, so something that I really wanted to mention. So I saved this news article, kind of a foreshadowing warning, and we're kind of already seeing this with the 4014 excursion. But I wanted to bring highlight to what's happening in other communities when it comes to hobbies. And so I tend to follow a lot of the storm chasers that go and, you know, chase off twisters and so forth. They're having a real big problem right now because, you know, you got all these YouTubers that are going out chasing these storms, and now you've also got the hobbyists per se that are also kind of following all the other storm chasers. And so it's becoming kind of a endangerment to the cities and the populations because it's jamming up traffic. And so both Oklahoma and Kansas are now bringing up potential laws that you may have to have a special license just to storm chase. And so this is kind of a cautionary tale to us rail fans to make sure that, you know, we make sure we stay behind 2,500 feet, because it's only a matter of time that, you know, heaven forbid that someone gets killed from the 4014, that, you know, we may not get these type of excursions anymore. We're going to see rules with the local populace, with local cities, making laws that, you know, class ones won't be able to have these excursion trains anymore because, you know, the populace can't police themselves. And so this is just one of those things that, again, we have to police ourselves as a rail fanning community. If we do not, we're going to lose these opportunities to have big bore excursions for the Southern Excursion, 611s, and so forth. And so it's very, I cannot stress this enough, that if we do not police ourselves, we're going to lose history, essentially. You know, we're starting to see that the 4014 had several drone strikes because, again, we're not policing ourselves to make sure our drones are off Union Pacific property. You know, unfortunately, you know, a dog got hit too. So it's just one of those things. Again, please, please, please police yourself, because it's only going to take that one time that it's going to get ruined for everyone. So a cautionary tale. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah. So let me. That is muted. Good. Or is it? Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to showcase this. So over in Europe, they're doing some groundbreaking work over there. And they have, I can't remember the company's name, but there's a particular manufacturer that is building this case display offload type of system. So you can display your trains on this particular square tube, but what we can also do is connect it via your track onto your layout. So you can see that pops off. This is the American C-Track system that Anthony Dodge uses. And Papa John, good sir, how are you? Great footage of the 4014. Watched your live stream when it was in your neck of the woods in Ohio. So thanks for sharing that. I'm pretty sure that was an awesome experience for you. You're still out rail fanning in the rain. That's commitment. That's commitment. So yeah, pretty interesting system. You disconnect it there, connect it, and then you've got your the power there, and you can literally take that mobile shelf and then have your train come onto the track. So I absolutely love this system. It's just begging to be replicated here in the US. So I'm just waiting for someone to come out with this type of system. Well, try to stay dry and try not to get sick. So yeah, pretty nifty storage and display solutions for your model trains. Okay, kind of talked about that. So again, this goes back to that cautionary tale again of rail fanning. Make sure we police ourselves. So we've got some particular warnings when you go out. So again, plan ahead. When Union Pacific Big Boy comes to town July 8th through the 11th in Pennsylvania, the Gaming Commission has announced that they will be heavily patrolling any publicly owned or Gaming Commission wardened area along the Norfolk Southern Main Line from Altoona to, I'm not even trying to pronounce that for safety reasons, stopping those who violate the closure of said land. So again, they're cording off sections where you could potentially get some good shots, but again, respect the law, respect these issues, so that way we don't lose it. But definitely have fun, but definitely plan in advance. Oh, you're setting up your G scale in your garage soon. Nice. Look forward to that. Okay, let's see here. This is going to take me to Athearn, right? Yeah, that's fine. So this was a pretty cool shot here from Matthew Love in the Union Pacific Steam Group. So it was a quick sighting of the 1943 Heritage Unit, honoring those of D-Day next to the consist. I was really hoping they would connect it, but they didn't connect it to 4014. Let's see. Okay. So more announcements coming from Broadway Limited. So they've announced the New Haven R3A. So they'll be coming out with their next model. So there's the 3D render of the New Haven 3556. So there you go. Into the R3A. Broadway Limited is for you. Okay, so we got some rail fanning shots of that BNSF office car special. So this comes from the virtual rail fan down there in Medicine, Iowa. But yeah, just a beautiful consist overall. Yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And there's Liberty. Yeah, really nice. All right, so I can't remember if we talked about this. I don't think we've talked about this yet. So this was announced last week that the 611 got their official American Freedom Train paint scheme. So this goes back to the days of the original, the 1976 grand vision of the American Freedom Train that 611 was originally supposed to pull, and this was kind of like the conceptual theme of the original owner of the AFT wanted 611 to look like, and so they've actually made that concept into real life. This scheme, the best way I can describe it is that it's fancy. It's simplistic. It's not crazy. It's not, glorified. It is basically a steam engine if it was in like a suit and tie. I think it looks good. Very, very simple and to the point. Train coming, nice. Go get it. And yeah, there's the Again, the conceptual art there. Overall, not bad. Nice to see the 611 coming back. And we'll have some more photos coming up of it. So in other news, a magazine called Classic Trains. You may have seen this in the train aisle of like Barnes and Nobles or your local bookstore. It is officially ceased. So we recently announced a difficult decision to cease publication of Classic Trains magazine after spring 2026 issue. You'll maintain access to the past issues of Classic Trains through archives on trains.com. For every one issue remaining for your Classic Train subscription, you'll receive 3 issues of Trains because you have at least 1 issue remaining on your subscription, and you'll receive Trains magazine for the remainder of your term, starting with this issue. So another magazine bites the dust. But again, in the age of, the internet, Google, and everything else, we're slowly starting to see the dominoes fall for the old paper media format. Sign of the times. Sign of the times. Okay, as we previously talked about, we've got more pictures of the beautiful 611 in her 250 paint scheme. Again, it just looks sharp. It's very formal classic is what I kind of want to look at it. And then some more pictures of the unveiling and the rail fanners taking plenty of photos for the records. Yeah, that's a beautiful steam engine. Hands down. Okay, let's see. All right, so we got some more photos of the 2026 Conductors Club. Feels like 611 would look more complete if it had the white walls of the 250th scheme. That's a fair assessment. And welcome, BNSF Engineer. How are you, good sir? Let's see. Yeah, I can actually see that. Yeah, it is missing that, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like what Big Boy has right now. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, so again, the Conductors Club for 2026 of Broadway Limited is the Christmas train and the American 250 scheme. So again, you can get all that information there. Again, beautiful locomotives. I am not sure if I'm going to get my pre-order in on time. I think the pre-order is coming up. Yeah, so it's due by June 26th. So that means you got to put a $50 deposit on these engines plus the Conductors Club for $30 if you are not already part of the program. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get these steam engines. So but those are coming up. All right, so more footages. I believe this is a 611. Let's see here. Yep. So there's 611 in action from Wigglejack. So to my understanding, I don't think this has the PTC controls. So I think that's why the diesel is leading the steamer. So, but again, very gorgeous. But yeah, not having the white wall wheels is definitely noticeable now. Again, just awesome photography. All right, so we've got the NS250, the Liberty Bell 1776, and kind of a little bit of spoiler alert. This is now following with Big Boy 4014 and the rest of these cars. So basically, this right here, and this comes from Brendan Steinert. This is the train that was connected to the rest of the Big Boy. Yeah, gorgeous. I don't think I feel like talking about that. So again, this was another potential paint scheme. I don't know what railroad this is, but it was just a lot of slapped on wallpaper that I don't know. It's a weird unit. I don't know much about it. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, we're not gonna go too much. I'll show some photography of 45, 47. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, we kind of talked about that very beginning of the news too, that they resubmit their application. STB is looking at it. Go from there. Does this have the paint scheme? No. That's fine. So again, just more photos of 4014. That's just the big news right now in the rail fanning world. And again, we'll slowly... 45, 47 had their initial grand reveal, but it was basically as political as you can get with an engine. This was a train, its initial inaugural run of the 45, 47. It was pulling the Artemis 3 solid rocket fuel boosters from Utah, from the Northrop Grumman site near Promontory Point. And so it was going from Utah all the way to Florida, which by now has made it. But again, the grand reveal was that was under police escort. They had Utah senators there. They had the president of Union Pacific. And again, it goes back to this grand narrative of, you guys know, I don't need to insult your intelligence, but it was, again, just a dog and pony show to try to get this merger through the federal government. And that's all this unit is going to be remembered as. And it's just, it is a sad thing. Because again, the paint scheme is brilliant. But again, they made the whole thing political. So here's some footage of it. Again, this engine needed to be 1776. Because imagine this with Liberty Bell of 1776 of Norfolk Southern, and it would have been perfect. So you've heard rumors that the 4547 is a dummy. Showed the rear grills covered with metal plates for the flag. So if we can see maybe some exhaust coming from this video, maybe? Got some exhaust there. I don't know. So yeah, it's definitely covered. It's an interesting theory. And see, you go straight to the point. Because of just how things are, you're gonna piss off half the people automatically. Maybe even more. I would say even more. So again, my grand plan, if this comes out in HO scale, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the name, get rid of the number, and slap 1776 on it. And then I would be at peace with that. Because otherwise, this scheme would have been my favorite if the narrative wasn't so freaking political with it. All right, and then there's the rest of the boosters in their respective cars, which is cool. But yeah, it is what it is. So an upcoming manufacturer called Imperial Hobby Productions, they are starting to do their light rail prototypes here, which is pretty cool, and then some other units as well. So they're really gearing towards the subway and light transit, which is awesome. We need more products like this in the market. Let's see. So if 4547 is a dummy, does that mean it's prototypical? Oh my gosh, not gonna touch that. So you'll probably stick with 4141 and 1616. Fair enough. Yep. Hey Jeff, how are you, good sir? Hopefully you are doing well. Yeah, I see. I feel like they should have made the 250 engine instead of pulling a BNSF stop sticker on the plane engine. Yeah. Yeah, you and probably the rest of the country, like even in the rail fanning community, they are mocking Union Pacific left and right, especially now that CSX has also dropped their paint schemes. Yeah, Union Pacific was the worst. Hands down. Hands down. So again, this is another angle of that 4547. Again, beautiful paint scheme, just yeah, I don't know if it's a dummy engine, and I don't think they would have let this be a dummy engine. I don't know. Yes, we did cover the 611. 611's paint scheme, the best way I can say it is that it's classy. It is a formal classic paint scheme, as I would say. The best way I could describe it is that it looks like, you know, if I put on a suit and tie, is the way I would consider the 611's paint scheme. It is simple and to the point, but it's also classy. Not my favorite, but it's still nice. And then we got Abraham Lincoln 1616, which I really like. I like that paint scheme. And then UP, and then we got the solid rocket boosters or Artemis 3. Now, I did nerd a lot over this train because I also follow a lot of space stuff. And so seeing the Artemis boosters get shipped like this I think it was really freaking cool. And what's cool about this is that this falls perfectly in lore with the Frost Line and Pacific Railway, because Icyville is literally next door to Northrop Grumman and Promontory Point where the boosters are made. So this actually fits very well into the Frost Line and Pacific Railway lore with Icyville. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So you're a little biased. Say Texas State Railroad did better with the 250th engine. Yeah, with the Atlantic, with the AFT, yeah. But you know one steam engine that kind of was really ultimately left out, and it's probably the saddest case right now, if you think about it, is 4449. That poor steam engine, out of all the engines that need to get repainted for 250. It didn't this year. I don't think it is. Like it's almost as a museum piece at this point. It's becoming a sad tragedy. So yeah, but I'm glad that, you know, the legacy of what 4449 did is replicated in you know, the Texas State Railroad and all the other Class 1s. So, but it's a shame that we didn't get the American Freedom Train, but I've got a little bit of a mega project for that, so more to come. So not only that, but I heard that it just doesn't have the rails to even ride on either. I think, again, it's stuck in a political limbo of where it's at, and the degrading rails that's over there wouldn't even allow 4449 to run on those rails either. So the fact that we don't even have a aesthetic paint job for 4449 in where it's currently located, yeah, it's kind of a sad story. But broken story, bolts, firebox issues, man, that's sad. But again, I'm glad that she's a survivor. I'm glad we have at least a GS4 that survived, is in good cosmetic state. So yep. Okay, so as I stated earlier, Michelle Kempema, if you don't know who Michelle Kempema is, she is a very strong advocate of model railroading. She is the head director of the Women in Model Railroading when it comes to the NMRA's special interest group. She's also the director of the Colorado Model Railroad Museum up there in Greenlee, Colorado. And she was able to get a ride on the BNSF 250 office car special. So this is her riding the cars here, which is again very cool to see. And then a little bit of video there. So again, highly recommend following Michelle Kempema. Definitely one of, I would say she's in celebrity status when it comes to railroading at this point. Probably number 2 behind Ed of the Big Boy Engineer. But yeah, definitely cool to see. There's Empower Field, so that's where the Denver Broncos play in downtown Denver. There's some light rail right there with Denver. Again, here's some of the footage. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. So this is the downtown Elitch Gardens, I believe, amusement park in Denver. It used to be a Six Flags, but not anymore. Just beautiful. Again, BNSF just nailed it. BNSF understood the assignment when it comes to the paint scheme. It's like Papa John got a new video on that rail fanning. Nice. Yeah. No worries. Do what you gotta do, Papa John. Do what you gotta do. All right. Let's see. So, Bowser has announced their version of the 250 paint scheme with their RS3. So definitely one I'm going to try to look out for. Go Army, Sleep in the Mud. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And then this is also their, the grand collection here. Beautiful locomotives. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I saved this. Okay, so this is the brand new microengineering catalog. No, and again, I tried to get out to everyone, try to advertise it as best as I could. I made a post announcement on YouTube saying that, yeah, we were switching time. The reason why we switched time to today, and this is going to be the new time going forward, so it'll be on Tuesdays from 7 probably till 9, is because of just family. Again, we're moving from San Antonio, Texas to Shreveport, Louisiana, and so in order to kind of support that move, we're shifting the podcast time to a day earlier. So I figured this was going to be kind of the first initial run to be a little bit rough around the edges because we're breaking in a new time. And then once we get kind of routine going, then, it'll be just like normal. But the other caveat too is that the last podcast here is going to be the last week of July. And then we won't come back till like December. So the podcast will go on a hiatus to pack down the studio, pack down the trains, and get it moved over. So Okay, so with that, let's take a look at some microengineering news. So they are keeping a newsletter. Again, this is all N scale, but keep in mind since um, Atlas bought microengineering, not microengineering. I always keep doing that. Microtrains. A lot of the stuff in N scale we could potentially see in HO, and we're starting to see kind of the new releases be in N and HO scale. So you can see for all you N scalers out there, they're keeping all the grit and grime, the worn down look. I absolutely love this. Again, I'm always a fan of products that buy back time for me. So if we can get more products like this in HO scale, it's just one of those things that I can buy back time by, getting weathered cars to get that realistic feel. So yeah, and matter of fact, cool, we got some in HO scale. So here's some of the HO scale offerings. This is where I think Atlas is really going to make their money when it comes to microtrains, because now they can take that grit and grime and bring it to the scale. And I think this is where they're really going to make their money. It's definitely something that I'm interested in and excited in. We're starting to see a lot of the fantasy elements come into play. So this is the Artemis 2, and we're getting that in HO scale, which is pretty cool. Again, the one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is what do they mean by kit? So this is probably not going to be fully assembled, ready to go. I imagine this is going to be like the old school roundhouse kits that you may have to put things together, or kind of similar to what Scale Trains does with some of their kits, the Caboose kit line that we saw coming up. And so I'm kind of curious how they're going to handle that. MSRP for 49 is a bit steep for a kit, so I'm curious to see how that's going to be. And again, we got the 250 in HO scale. So again, I definitely want to get that because again, it's just one of those things that themed, New Year themed, July 4th. It just goes with my collection of 4th of July trains. So we got some helicopters here that's on a flat car. This is an N scale. Again, more N scale. We got these billboards in N scale, which are, they're kind of cool maybe. I don't know how I feel about it, but we got the whole, major events in American history. From the Revolutionary War to all that, so pretty cool. Okay, so we got some Freedom singles in N scale. So again, a lot of decorative work. This kind of reminds me, oh man, I can't remember the name of the manufacturer. That escapes me. But it's interesting that they're doing this as well. So you want to go on the 4th of July, American Freedom Train, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Norfolk and Western Unit, yeah. Yep. See, N scale and more HO. So this is more of news that's coming out of the microtrains. Again, Atlas got a lot of heat about buying microtrains and what's going to happen to, the people that were there, the facility. And so this also breaks it out. So again, props to Atlas for, I think they really did a good job handling the PR when it came to this acquisition. I think this catalog kind of shows that they're trying to stay true to the microtrains and bring it to HO scale, which is actually, I would say, the best case scenario for microtrains right now. So I do have to give Atlas a lot of props. Again, I was one that was kind of a, I was very hesitant on this merger, but they're trying to stay true to the products, which I'm excited for. Because I definitely want it in HO scale for sure. You caught Norfolk Southern. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cool. So that is micro trains. Again, I apologize if I keep saying microengineering. It's micro trains. Just substitute it. I've been trying to catch myself to say microtrains versus microengineering is completely different than microtrains. But But yeah. All right, let's see here. Let me get back to, so I lost my save spot on the announcements here, so give me 1 second. Oh, I know why. Hang on. There we go. Alright, we'll get there. Give me 1 second. Okay. Get you guys back on the news here. Alright, so another capture of the 4547. This comes from the Laramie, Wyoming virtual wheel fan cam. So again, there's 45, 47, the Lincoln, and then the rest of the train there. So this is probably one that I will build in the future. Pretty cool catch. Okay, so again, we don't talk about other scales too much, but when we do, it's kind of on an epic scale. So those of you that are an O gauge, I feel sorry for you because there is so many big boys coming out. It is insane. It's like Lionel really needed to use the tooling, make sure it's worthwhile, and so they went ham on the fantasy scheme big boys. It's absolutely insane. I think I've lost count to how many they have. Ben Strains, one of the bigger YouTubers on O gauge, they've announced their scheme for the Atlantic coastline, and it's like it's one of those times that a purple big boy, man, I don't know about that. So if you're interested in this paint scheme, go ahead, but sometimes I think it's a little bit too much. So yeah, I feel sorry for those of you who do O gauge because it's absolutely insane. We'll probably go Sunday. Again, there's just been a lot of things. A lot of things changed once I found out that we're moving to Louisiana, and so I know for sure what I'm gonna do is that last week of July is going to be the last time I go to Samara. So I'll probably go that Sunday, go that Thursday, and say my goodbyes. So that'll be coming up. I don't know if I'll do any more between now and then, but we're winding down San Antonio. Because again, there's just a lot of things to start prepping for the move. So, you think it's pretty cool? Awesome. There you go. You think you go Sunday as well? Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to Bree, and we'll probably go. Okay, take it easy, Deep Run. Thank you so much for dropping by. And again, I appreciate all you guys kind of adapting, and I know it was very kind of sudden that we had to change times, but again, I literally found out last week that we were moving, so we took it last week off to try to figure out what kind of the game plan was. And so, yeah. Oh, so you'll be going to Samara this week as well. Man, now we gotta go. Okay. Yeah, then I will try. I'll knock on wood, but if everything goes well, we'll try to go Sunday. And I'm probably not going to run anything because I think what I want to do is grab as much footage as I can for you guys. I'll probably... Maybe I'll do like my last camera train. this Sunday. I'll have to think about it. Oh, I appreciate that, Jeff. Yeah, it's just, again, you can always find us here on this channel. So it may be goodbye physically, but again, it's a hello in a digital world. So that's why I created this channel. This channel is basically one of my elements to help me stay consistent. It's just a consistent element that I can always come back to, you know. And I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate that, Papa. You run your Berkshires, nice. And then your A's as well, nice. You're not gonna be running anything, huh? Alright, 1 second. Let me do this. Okay, go. I'm not in a good place. No. Okay, check it. Yeah, I can catch it.
It's heavy.
Just throw it. Oh, that smells good. Good. Yeah, so yeah, right, we're friends on Facebook, so yeah. Yep. And we'll have a lot more videos, and so I think what's going to end up happening is these last few weeks at Samurai, I'm going to just try to record as much as I possibly can. And even right now, I think I have enough footage to still last me another year worth of Samurai content. But you guys will know, I'll do a video stating that, hey, this is the last footage I have of Samurai. So I know you guys absolutely, I know you guys being members yourself, it's a great layout. Yeah. Yeah. I get you, real fan. So yeah. Let's go back to Le News. So what's interesting, and I was really hoping that this wouldn't be a headline. But and I can't really review it, but Bloomberg is reporting that Brightline is going to be filing for bankruptcy soon. And so I hope that isn't the case, but again, the writing's kind of on the wall that it could potentially, because it is losing money and it's actually getting a lot of bailouts from Florida. And so I'm hoping that it can survive, but we'll see. Again, it's kind of iffy if it's gonna do or not gonna do, but we'll see. We shall see. Again, those of you who do O-Gauge, we're starting to see the paint schemes come out. This is the first time I've seen the BNSF paint scheme come to model form, and so MTH is the first I've seen officially announce this. Again, it is for O-Gauge. And so I think it's only a matter of time before we see it come in HO scale. I imagine we'll see it, Walthers and Scale Trains probably will announce it, I would imagine, soon. So we'll see. Okay, I think this, if this is what I think it is, let me see. Oh yeah, so this was another paint scheme. Again, it's also cool to see that a lot of these freight cars are also, these companies that lease and own these freight cars are also getting into the spirit of 250. And so recently we saw TTX with their box cars with the American flags with Big Boy when it departed Cheyenne to Nebraska. And now we've got another AIT, the American Industrial Transportation, released their 250 grain hopper here, which is again pretty darn cool. Really cool to see that. So you can see it being rolled out by Canadian National there. So I'm just loving that everyone's getting in on the 250th celebration. Oh, they will. Scale trains probably be the first one because they got a 611 going for them. Or be a conductors club potentially in the future. So I wish BLI would get their act together with 611, but we'll see. We shall see. So Value Trains USA announced their next big boy boxcar celebration. They've added the Union Pacific Golden Eagle statue that's on top of the nose of the big boy. So that is one that I'm going to get eventually because I like to add that to my collection. So this will be coming out both in HO and N scale. So as we were talking about, again, this is the photography of the official kind of unveiling of 4547. This was the whole event. Again, you've got the Utah senator along with the rest of the Utah congressional staff there. The president of Union Pacific that was there. Again, the whole thing was freaking political, so it's whatever. Yeah, definitely want BLI to run Norfolk J class in diecast, honestly. There you go, yeah. Yeah. Tired of plastic C models. You also tired of traction tires. Speaking of traction tires, what's your thought on them? They're a necessary evil. The reality of it is that you may not be able to get the weight on the front of a boiler of a steam engine. And so the traction tires help. Again, it's a necessary evil. Pain when they break. But yep. So we're getting some more fantasy schemes. So this is another what if the Rio Grande had survived, was a class 1 railroad, and they did their 250 paint scheme. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love how the flag is kind of draped over the typical big board Rio Grande logo. Very, very gorgeous. Again, these freelance railroads are just kicking it out of the park, getting into the festivities of the 250. This just the amount of stuff that we can come up with. It is really, really cool. All right, so a company we don't tend to talk about much is Intermountain. They have announced in N scale that they're doing a lot of the 250 paint schemes. So we got Burlington Northern, we've got Milwaukee Road, we've got Reading and Northern. So again, this comes back from the 1776 kind of celebration, or not, 1976, excuse me. But pretty cool that we're starting to see some more products come out. And again, this is an N scale, wish it was HO, but again, we don't talk about Intermountain often on the channel. So when I see that news, I try to grab it as quickly as I can. Okay, so a big popular item that has blown up at least my feeds lately is Rapido. Rapido, I think, is knocking it out of the park this year. They have come out with their end of card device, and yeah, they look really good for half the price from Bachman. So if you really model the modern era, you've got your end of T devices ready to go. You wish there were more balance, the locomotives better so they don't need traction tires. Yeah, it's just, again, it comes down to weight, it comes down to engineering, comes down to scaling, comes to, you know, how much do you want your locomotive to pull? And that's why I just call it necessary evil. Again, some more. Now, this was the same announcement from Intermountain, and then for HO scale, that they're releasing or shipping their Illinois Central GP10 diesels. So, Intermountain. Some more value trains coming out with 250 equipment. So yeah, definitely like the American flag there, the 250 sticker, and then the eagle. It's just, I love this quirky stuff. I like what Value Trains is doing. I think, if I remember correctly, I gave them an IC award last year for the up-and-coming manufacturer. So yeah, pretty cool to see. All right, so another paint scheme that was released. This is from the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. This is their 250th diesel locomotive. Again, looks kind of cool, but really busy. We've got basically the stars and stripes in the front, and then we got the typical colonial star flag in the back here, and then with the writing here. So it looks cool. I just think it's a little busy, but again, 250th, I'll take it. Gives me plenty of modeling options for the future. Okay, so now we start getting into Big Boy. So again, as you guys know, Big Boy is on its Eastern tour. Papa John just saw it recently going through Ohio. And the cool thing about it was what they had planned for this grand combined train. So you got the Big Boy leading the whole thing, but then we've also got Norfolk Southern's 1776 250 along with UP's 1776. And then at the tail end, they have Norfolk Southern coaches. I don't know if I've got that. I probably have that captured. If not, we'll try to find it, but pretty darn cool. All right, Scale Trains is doing yet another run and flooding the market with GP30s, which I'm okay with because GP30s are amazing. I love their GP30s. And they're coming on with a crap ton more paint schemes. So we got Burlington Northern, we've got CNEI, we've got more CNEI, we've got LNN, we've got even more LNN, we've got even more LNN with black and white paint scheme. We've got the Norfolk Southern, which I'm probably wanting to grab this, especially if the Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific merger happens. There's just something about this that looks cool. Love the high hood all the way through. So there's something just cool about this. And then another one for Norfolk Southern. There's Southern Pacific, which probably be another one that I'll grab. We get again Union Pacific B unit, another B unit, and that's the rest. You just want more Norfolk and Western stuff. Well, we got Norfolk Southern. Yeah, so Scale Trains is going hard on the GP30s, which why not? That diesel just exploded on all the socials. So yeah. Again, a cautionary tale of make sure you are planned when if you're going to go see the Big Boy out on the East Coast. Good luck to you because it's been nothing but crowds and parking and good luck. I give you guys the best luck in the world. Because I remember when I saw this in Houston, Houston alone brought in 200,000 people to see the Big Boy when it was parked there. So I can only imagine what the Horseshoe Curve is going to be, what Altoona is going to be. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Just be prepared. It's going to be crazy. All right, coming up next, we've got this is in Williams, Arizona. This is the Grand Canyon Railroad. Yep, so we talked about that very beginning of the news section. The current news on the NSUP merger is that they've submitted their second application. It is approved but with an asterisk. Basically, the STB still wants more information regarding the merger. Again, just to show how it's going to affect traffic, potential monopoly situations, and so forth. And they want that information by July 27th, I believe. And so that's the next step in the saga of the merger, or the buyout. Again, buyout. So they still have to provide even more detail. So I'm getting the impression that, you know, I thought they were going to be more prepared on the merger, or again, buyout, but it sounds like to me they're trying to do the bare bones. So we'll see. So it is what it is. So that's your quick up to date there. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the Grand Canyon Railroad. So this comes from the Grand Canyon Railway. Highly recommend following them. This is their units. So we've got the American flag in the front there, and then they got the Grand Canyon on one side, and then they basically have Mount Rushmore on the other side. So yeah, buyout with quotation marks. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I do like that paint scheme too from Grand Canyon Railroad. Again, I'm just ecstatic that everyone is getting involved one way or the other with 250. Even though we don't have the 250 American Freedom Train, I believe the spirit of the AFT is well with everyone that's doing these paint schemes. And so, you know, in reality, we're seeing the 250 AFT just in a different way, which is pretty cool. And then we will be celebrating on this channel for sure. I mean, we kind of are already, but I can't wait for the 4th of July. That's going to be a fun time. Absolute fun time. Okay, so again, going back to 4014, because again, that is just going to be the headlines of everything railroading related. We're going to get the historic two big boys together in decades. So, Big Boy 4014 and 4012 will be positioned side by side next to each other. That is going to be crazy moment. So again, plan accordingly. Yeah, I mean, you said it best. I mean, we give Union Pacific a lot of crap for the 1776, but again, we also have to think about that. They gave us the coast-to-coast tour with the Big Boy. I'm willing to give them some slack on that. And they have 1776 Norfolk Southern with them, and so I think, you know, they're doing good with that. Can you imagine, though, if the American Freedom Train actually happened and was to travel across the U.S., how crazy that would have been? Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that we will never see an American Freedom Train in our lifetime. And so I'm happy that we can bring it at least to the modeling world. And that's what I try to celebrate with you guys here on the stream. And just, you know, we may not be able to see the real thing, but being able to showcase it in model form, I think is just as good. So we will definitely celebrate AFT. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I want to give all the credit to Railfan K. He broke the news to me that I was actually at work doing all sorts of worky things, and he sent me a message saying that, hey, CSX came out with there too, and then long and behold was able to find the news source. So again, Railfan K gets the credit for breaking the news there. The last and final Class 1 railroad has announced their units. So here is the CSX units. So not bad overall. I do like it. Again, it's kind of busy, but it's a good busy. But it's not classy. I guess that's the best. It's good and busy, but not classic. Whereas BNSF is really pretty, to the point, and classy. But again, art is in the eye of the beholder. It's very subjective. Don't take my word. You can take my word with a grain of salt. This is cool too, and of course, these two are going to be way better paint scheme than Union Pacific. So CSX has released their 2 units in their announcement. Let me see if I can get an actual photos here. So yeah, we've got United We Stand for 2026, and then we got 250 CSX in their respective paint schemes. Oh, absolutely. Any day of the week. Anything is better than UP ones. But again, I give UP a little bit of credit because they do have Big Boy. And so, sorry, but Big Boy is better than any 250 paint schemes. I'm just gonna say that right now. As much as I like these paint schemes, I'm still a Big Boy fan. But if I had to choose which one's the best, I still go with BNSF. And yeah, the Screaming Eagle from Canadian Pacific as well. So you still want to see the other 5 NS units. Again, the NS units are fine, but it just comes down, I think my issue with the NS units is that they went quantity over quality. These other ones, the quality of the imagery and just the thought process, I think is pretty cool, but the 6 is just kind of insane. Like, Norfolk Southern went freaking ham. But again, they're still better than Union Pacific's diesel. Yeah, we all have our opinions. I'm a Big Boy nerd, so now 611. She will still be respected, and I still give her the title as the Queen of Steam. So she is the queen. And with that, that is 2 weeks worth of news. I think we're finally caught up. Wow. It's just been, the news has been dominated by American 250. That's just a whole theme this year, which is pretty cool. And to be honest, it's going to be sad when it's done. Because with the Big Boy Tour, with the 250, this is probably the most we've seen railroading content in mainstream media. And it's just, I just don't know if we will ever see this again in our lifetime. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's a great point. It's like, as long as we still see steam running on the main line, it's a good day. Yeah, great point. Absolutely great point. Absolutely great point. All right, let's get you guys on board. So yeah, if I have missed any news, let me know, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, it has been a crazy 2 weeks. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. We finally have all of the 250 paint scheme. Again, let me know what your guys' favorite is. Gorm, he said, definitely like the BNSF and CP. So I think my rank order of the class 1s. So I think number 1 for me is BNSF. I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park as far as the assignment of 250. Not only, I give them bonus credit because, like I said, they've honored the 250th, but they also honored their own legacy with Santa Fe. I think they did perfect. A+ on BNSF. Never thought I'd be saying that. Canadian Pacific second with the Screaming Eagle. Third, CP with their unit. Oh, I'll probably just link it all together. So yeah, CP in second. In third place, let's see. Who would I give third place to? That's going to be a toss-up. I'm actually going to go CSX. I like the 2 units from CSX over the 6 from Norfolk Southern. I think I'll give Norfolk Southern 4th place, and then last place, Union Pacific. And then you've got all of your other, like, I'm just grading class 1s. I know there's a plethora of scenic railroads that came out with their take. I'll probably agree with BNSF engineer that I think the Texas Pacific steam engine, let's actually find that one, because that was a beautiful locomotive. Let's see. It was the Atlantic. Yeah, I'm not finding it. But yeah, see, so for you, you'd say BNSF, CSX, Norfolk Southern, CP, oh, I forgot about CN. Or CPKC. Sorry, no, I got that all screwed up. The Screaming Eagle was Canadian National. Okay, so let me rephrase. So BNSF, then CN, because they had the Screaming Eagles. Then I would say CSX, Norfolk Southern, CPKC, Union Pacific. Yeah, because CPKC came out with that red stripe. It was kind of not really. Oh, it was a 282 non-Atlantic. Okay. Ah. 282. So yeah, that would be my order. BNSF, CN, CSX, Norfolk Southern, CPKC, Union Pacific. Yeah, 6 class 1s. Yep. I'm still trying to find an image of that steam engine. Yeah, trying to. It's just Google's not wanting to cooperate with me at the moment. Uh-oh. There we go. Yep. Texas. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. So yeah, they're yeah, 282 paint scheme. Absolutely brilliant. Like in many ways, this is carrying a torch of the 4449 paint scheme and the other TNP steam locomotive from 1976. Yeah, I really like that paint scheme. But yeah, you know, it's kind of, it's an interesting closure to the 250th. We've got all the class 1 railroads now. They have all their paint schemes out. I don't think we'll see any more announcements. I think that pretty much concludes the announcements on that. So it's bittersweet, but now it's time for the 4th of July. Now it's time for the 4th of July. The channel will be celebrating the 4th of July. I've got, so I'll probably release, so my mega project is going to be released on the 4th of July. More info will be released, the stream before the 4th. So the mega project is complete for the year. A lot of time was spent on it, but I think you guys will like it. So again, if you're just joining the stream, the podcast has changed times from the Wednesday to now Tuesday, starting at 7 Central Time, going on to about 9 Central Time. We will keep this time slot all the way up to the last week of July. And July will be the last stream. Let's go ahead and go to the channel. That'll give the details as well. Get you the accurate dates. All right, let's see here. So yeah, July 28th will be the final podcast from the Lone Star State. And then we'll be on hiatus until December. If time permits, maybe we'll try to do it earlier, but that just gives Bree enough time to tear down this layout, move into the new place, and set something up. I still don't know if we'll have a circle layout when we go over there. I may be confined to a point-to-point. If that's the case, then I'm going to invest in a motorman. I'm kind of wanting to buy one right now, but we'll get a motorman so that way the train can go back and forth if need be. I'll do what I can to see if we can keep the circle, but I think this is going to be one of those situations where we're just not going to be able to fit it, but we'll see. Also, the point-to-point will probably be the 7-track main line as well. So definitely in December, the podcast will look a little bit different. We'll still keep the news format. I think you guys love, us talking about it. So that's not going to change. Obviously, this is what's going to change. So, and little by little, you'll start seeing me pack up this room too. Probably for the rest of the time that we're here, we're going to run just the American Freedom Train. It makes it easy for me to start packing things up. And again, we're going to celebrate the 250th. It's once in a lifetime event, especially for those here in the US. So I think we just run the American Freedom Train for the remaining live streams we have left, going through July. So I think that's kind of the plan moving forward. Yep, change is the only constant in life. That's all good. Yep. And another constant is that this channel is here. So you can always know where to find me. Yeah. No, I know what you meant. Yep. Absolutely. So with that being said, we still have some more channel stuff to share. So let's so in other news, I did make some progress on the super mainline corridor that's going to have 7 main lines on our next basically modular setup. My ME track code 70 dual gauge, so this is HO and HON3 came in along with the latest Atlas code 100. And so as you can see, we're pretty much set for the main line. We just need the Tillig dual track that we talked about 2 weeks ago. The issue with it is that it needs to come from overseas, and overseas takes about 4 to 6 months to ship and to get here. And so I put a pause on getting that track until after the move, because I don't want it to order it now and be shipped here when we're already moved to Louisiana. And so once I know where we're going to live in Louisiana, then I'll order the Tillich like first and foremost. But I have a sneaky suspicion that this particular modular will be front and center as part of the next evolution of this podcast for the IC Railway. So again, we'll take that with a grain of salt. But again, this will allow me to run any train imaginable in HO scale. So the thing about it, Jeff, I like the concept of bringing up guests. The issue with that is I don't have the setup I want. It's more of a behind the scenes issue I'm having with StreamYards. And so it's kind of forcing me to go to OBS Ninja. But even with OBS Ninja, it's still a headache to set everything up, along with everything else I do to set this standard setup together. I will play with the idea of it, but I can't make any guarantees. And technically the first guest that I'm trying to bring on is a CLL. But again, it's Canadian logistics. But again, it's just a concept trying to figure out the back end on how I set it up. I know people just bring up StreamYards and you're good to go. My system is complex. Yeah, no, it's definitely a good question. It's still in the back of my mind to do it. I do want to bring guests. I do want to bring you guys up as well. I'm still trying to work that out. For a long time now, I've been wanting to do 2 episodes a week of the IC Railway. One episode where I'm solo giving the news, running the trains, and then another episode during the week where I bring up guests. And you guys can showcase your layouts, can showcase what you want to talk about and so forth. So it is on the back of my mind to do it. I'm just not there yet. So yeah, so this is what I originally called the Pico modular, or Camp Pico modular, because my code 100 and code 83 main lines are Pico, and then all the other ones that I will make will have Walthers, will have microengineering, and so forth. So that way we can properly test any type of track in HO scale. So this is kind of the future. And I'm hoping that we can get a full circle out of this, but for now it's going to be point to point. But it'll be big enough to actually be satisfying. Yeah, we'll figure it out, Jeff. I gotta get you. I gotta get CLL. I know Railfan K has come up when I experimented on the very first concept of it. Man, almost 3 years ago now. Oof! Wow. Dang, time flies. And then we also had Lynn McCurdy of the president of the High Desert Modular Model Club with us as well. But I only did like 1 episode of it, and that was part of what I call the IC Station podcast. But it was a concept that I retired, and I'm going to try to bring it into this format. So more to come on it. And especially if we don't have the full circle, then, and if we have the point to point, then yeah, it'll be probably more interesting bringing you guys up as well. Let's see. That'll be pretty interesting when you have all the different tracks in place. Yeah, I am excited for this. It's unique. At first, I thought it was going to be kind of crazy, wouldn't look right, but I pretty much said to hell with it and did it anyways. And I'm glad I did, because there's actually so much capabilities for me of this that it's well worth it. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Like I said, life is busy. Busy. Well, and I'm still not set in stone on the outer code 100 Atlas track, because again, if we go to the image of this. So this is the initial design of the super mainline corridor. And so we have that high-speed Code 100 Atlas track. But when I got that new Atlas track in, I mean, you want to talk about flex. It was so flexible that it felt like I was going to break the rails off the ties. Like, I don't know if that's a really good thing or a really bad thing because you can really tell how cheap it is. But again, it is flex track. It's designed to bend, so I can't really fault them for feeling that way. It's just when you handle all of these other code flex tracks, you notice the difference. And again, I know there's two different types of flex tracks. You got the super flex and the stiff flex, but it's hard to say. There's like a quality difference that you can feel as well. And so with the high speed Code 100 Atlas, I'm not sure if that's gonna stay true. I've thought about switching it over to Pico 100 for the outer line all the way through, but the reason why I went with Atlas to begin with is obviously it's much more affordable than the Pico. So I'm kind of going back and forth if I want to use Atlas or use Pico. I think I'm going to stick with my gut and stay with Atlas for now. If I notice that becoming a problem as far as quality is concerned, I'll rip it up and switch it over to Pico. But yeah, little by little, we're making progress on the super mainline. Little by little, we're getting there. So I'm excited. I'm excited that we're going to be able to run HON3. I'm excited that we can run European models now with the Marklin K-Track in the center. I'm excited that we'll eventually get into the Swiss narrow gauge with HOM. And I'm definitely excited for the British HON30 locomotives with that track as well, with HOE or HON30. So yeah, your last layout was Atlas 100 Flex. Your next layout is going to be a Pico 100 Flex. Yeah, there you go. There's just something about it feels, I guess the best I can describe is that the Pico track feels beefier than the Atlas track. But I'm trying to give Atlas the benefit of the doubt because I have been hearing some good things that Atlas is actually getting the track better with the new run. So I wanted to buy Code 100 Atlas to give them what I would say another chance because their old turnouts were absolute trash. But again, the whole purpose of the super mainline is to test different manufacturers' tracks and see how the locomotives are going to respond. So you want to do a point-to-point at some point, but your space doesn't allow it. Yeah, I mean, I get that. The space, you're dictated by the space allowed. Like microengineering. So the microengineering track that I've got here is Code 70 dual track, HON3 and standard gauge. And I tell you what, I didn't realize this, but having 3 rails makes it really sturdy flex. I'm actually kind of concerned on how the dual track's going to bend on the corners, but I can instantly know that that's gonna be a challenge for me because I was trying to shape the ME track straight as possible, and it's like I've got all these tools to help the other standard gauge, but the issue is that my templates for the standard gauge doesn't work for this dual track because the inner third rail that makes the HON3, my little gauges don't fit into that gap. So that was fun. And I also found out that this Code 70 ME track will take Pico Code NE3 rail joiners because I forgot to buy the microengineering rail joiners. So I tried to use the Pico and it worked just fine. If you're wondering. Yeah, slowly and surely, the main lines are coming together. Yeah, there's that Emmy dual track. So yeah, there's the latest updates of the channel. All right, let's do some Railfan. I don't think I have anything else to really talk about. Oh yeah, I actually do have one more thing to talk about. So we were discussing the new. I'm gonna try to join it. It's basically going to be the new club that the FPR. I'm gonna try to join. And so let's go ahead and talk about that. Okay, so in Shreveport, Louisiana, there is a club. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So I got sidetracked by this. Take a look at this. So you want to talk about a company that's really going to destroy my wallet? This is the Train Hobby Brass Department. And here we have a brass, looks like HO scale bullet train. Only for $10,000. Wow. That's absolutely insane. Anyways, talk about a squirrel moment. So, over in Shreveport, Louisiana, there is a group over there of the Fantasy. It's not fancy. It's Freelance Railroad. So, this is the Blue Sky and Pacific layout. This is the Sioux Line Railroad. So, this club is absolutely insane. So, I'm going to see if I can get you guys a good picture of this. So, this is a massive warehouse building. And I think they're building 3 decks. So we got a bottom deck there, we've got a medium deck there, and there's supports to make an upper deck. So the Sioux Line, I think, is 100% ops focused, and so I don't think this club does like a fun run type of style. I think it's all operationally focused. But if I am able to become a member of this, you guys will see what it's like to have a railroad go from bare bones to full-blown operation. Now, I don't know if this will be complete in the 4 years that I'll be there, but this will be the next, and assuming that they allow me to record and actually make content for my channel, this will be my new in-residency layout, club layout per se. So there's a lot of cool things to come. So they are using, I believe, Digitrax, but they're going to use LCC for their layout command and control, which means I can now finally get exposed to LCC, which I'm actually extremely excited for to learn about. So all their turnouts will be digitized, all their signals will be digitized. They'll be using the Barrett Hill system for their turnouts. But yeah, this is absolutely insane how I've been following this group for a while now. And the fact that I may be able to go there and record this for you guys, like, it just keeps going on and on and on. Like, this is a massive freaking layout. And I hate to admit it, but I think this layout is actually 2 times bigger than Samra. Yeah, I honestly think this can be even bigger than the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. That's just how massive. I didn't even think this is going to be bigger than the Kansas City layout. So yeah, I've been following this group for a while now. And it's like, man, I wish you could be part of this. And long and behold, I think this is going to be the future of the channel. To bring you guys operationally focused videos. I'm hoping that I can just record shorts, but again, when it comes to these type of layouts, they could be, I don't know, it just depends on what I find out over there. Yeah, this layout is absolutely massive. So again, guys, if you want to see potentially me in future videos, I will share this Facebook group with you guys because I've got a feeling that this is going to be a staple for us going forward. So there's the Facebook group. I will do my best to showcase this stuff, but yeah, it's absolutely insane. Their work days are Thursday and Saturday. But yeah, it is impressive. Just how big this layout's going to be. They also have their own dispatch station. They have their own painting station. Or when I say station, I mean rooms. They have their dispatching room. They have their painting room. Like, it is incredible. This railroad kind of reminds me of where Samurai eventually wants to go, because again, Samurai only has half the building. They want to build the other half. This layout is if Samurai had that other half. Is basically what this is. But yeah, it is just a monster of a size. So alright, give me 1 second. So yeah, highly recommend you guys follow the Sioux Line Railroad. This is just an incredible layout. Oh, so no, sorry, I think they're using ESU. Let me see here. Yes, so they're actually going to go ESU. Which I'm also excited for because I want to see, because the layout is so massive, I'm starting to believe that ESU is actually the way to go for command and control for very big, heavy club layouts. So, no, I'm off camera. Do you want it on camera? No. Okay. All right, I'm almost done. Well, I gotta switch to showcase the news, because news also has the cameras. Love you. Nice. You good?
Fine.
Did it? Oh, did it open? Did it open? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if my mic's gonna pick up your voice, but yeah. Anyways, that was pretty. So here's the paint scheme for the Sioux Line. So it's that red and black. If you guys go to home shops, I think the Sioux Line has a boxcar for purchase as well. And then you can see this is the other BSP, Big Sky, and Pacific. So I am like really, really excited for this layout. So there's the command station. So yes, they are going to go ECOS with LCC. So I'll be learning a whole new system that I've never used before. There is another YouTuber, I believe by the name of, he lives in Kansas, he does the, I think it's called Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision. He has switched from Digitrax to the ECOS system. It did? Okay, good. I was making sure. Yeah. The only way Samuel will get there to the other part of the building and then change the way you do things, yeah. So I'm hoping that I can document this progress as best as I can on the channel. I'm hoping that the guys over there will allow me to vlog the progress of their build and actually have it on this channel. So clubs can be finicky, gray area. Luckily, I was fortunate enough with all the clubs here in San Antonio to allow me to record, but we'll see what happens with the Sioux line. I'm really hoping I can. So, yeah, just amazing amount of bench work that's going up. Yeah, just, it is Plywood City. You can see the track plan of the yard that's here. Oh man, it is absolutely cool to see. Just massive. Yeah, it's at least 3 layers. And again, it just keeps on going. Here's some of their locomotives. So yeah, unlike Samra, this is, like I said, this is probably going to be 100% operations focused, which I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It's just, again, a lot of things are going to change. Discord, come back to me. Discord. There we go. I think we're back. There we go. Refresh, apologize. There we go. So that's going to be another interesting thing. We're going from Google Fiber to AT&T Fiber, so not too excited about that, but you know, it's what we got over there. All right. So yeah, definitely there's the picture of the club. So yeah, it's just like Samra. Massive, massive. Oh, looks like they're by oh, they're by a main line? No way. What? They're right next to the CPKC main line too. Let's go. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. So you will be getting a lot, hopefully a lot of content from this. Oh, that's way cool. Yeah, I'm kind of nerding out a little bit. Oh, this is amazing. So yeah, hopefully more to come. More to come. Yeah. So a lot of interesting things to come for the Frost line in Pacific. As we slowly sunset our time here in San Antonio, new opportunities are coming about, new perspectives, new friends, just new ways of doing the hobby. So again, going from Digitrax, coming from Easy DCC to potentially using ECOS and LCC. there is a lot to come, and I can't wait. So, all right. With that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and give the yellow signal. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, the yellow signal has been dropped, indicating one last lap, and then we will wrap up episode 77. So again, a reminder, from this point forward, we'll be streaming from 7 to 9 every Tuesday now. Thank you guys so much for adjusting to the time. You guys are awesome. Appreciate all you guys' support. Thank you those who were lurking. Thank you for all those watching on the replay. Kind of the future of, basically us. So I am excited for the future. I am excited to what things are coming. So, yep. We'll see you guys next week. So we're officially on the last lap here. Go ahead and throw up that red signal. The red signal is up, as you can see right there. And then we'll go ahead and bring it to showcase center. And we'll start closing down this stream. Again, appreciate all you guys' support. Officially passed 8,100 subscribers. Well on our way to that 10K goal. But plenty of more things to come. All right, Big Boy is almost there. We'll park it at Show Center. And then we'll go from there. All right. And there we have it. All right, 4018 has halted. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call it a stream. So with that, guys, thank you so much. Again, thank you for adjusting to all the craziness that's happening in my life. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. And with that, I'll see you on the next stream. Take it easy, guys.